weather forecast for us in a few minutes' time.
Yes, let's go back to our main story. And as we heard earlier, a new scheme will give some low-income households £120 off their winter electricity bill.
But some will face a race to get the money. Paul Lewis from Radio 4's Money Box is here. Paul, this is an important story, isn't it? Because for a long time we've been talking about the pressures people are feeling. Yes. These are the most vulnerable people. £120 is a lot of money. So just clarify who this is available to.
Right. One group should get it automatically. They're the lowest income pensioners, people on what's called the guarantee credit of pension credit, and only the guarantee credit. So that's people with income, a single person income of £103 or less, couple with an income of £164 less. They don't need to apply. The DWP is telling the energy companies who they are, and they should get it automatically. How well that works, we'll have to wait and see, but that's the main group.
OK, so that's who's eligible. And what about prepayment meters? People asking what happens. Jenny, for example, do we actually have to apply for this payment? Is it automatic? And what happens?
Well, prepayment meters, people on prepayment meters will get it equally to people with bills. But because they can't get a discount, because they don't have a bill, they pay with one of those tokens, they will probably get a cheque. But because this scheme is only just beginning, we're not quite sure. But they certainly will get a payment from the energy company somehow, and it will be exactly the same.
Lots of groups of people contacting us this morning about specific cases. The disabled, people on disability living allowance, for example.
Well, that's not one of the qualifying benefits. To get this, if you're not in that pensioner group, there are two things that have to happen. First, you have to be on one of the qualifying benefits. They're all means tested. It's income support, job seekers allowance, employment and support allowance. And as well as that benefit, you either have to have a disability benefit or you have to have a child under 5. Now, the rules are different between different energy companies, but that's broadly it. The second thing is they are going to be limited. There's a finite amount of cash, and once your company has spent its cash, even if you qualify, they'll be saying, sorry, no more money left. And that, I think, is the essential unfairness, that people are going to have to get in a queue as quickly as they can. And
I can see from the amount of texts and emails that we're getting in this morning, people are very concerned about this, particularly from what you're just saying, that the race is kind of on.
Well, it is on.
What should people do? And they're phoning up their the electricity companies saying, I don't know what you're talking about.
It is on, and that's the problem, because it's just beginning, and we've just got the details from the various companies this week. They are saying, hang on a minute, you know, we don't know, the call centre may not know, it's not clear how you get on the list, how you apply. Some companies are trying to write to people, others are waiting for them to go to them. So it is a bit difficult. I mean, I do recommend people get in touch with their electricity company. If they don't know, then, you know, ring them every couple of weeks till they do, because this is a scheme for all the big 6 energy companies, and one of the smaller ones, Ebico. Most of the smaller ones are not involved, and it's only England, Scotland and Wales, not Northern Ireland. But whoever your supplier is in those big 6 or smaller companies, ring them up, find out what's going on and get on that list. Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, so essentially, quite a lot of people phoning up, as Lou said, who are not the companies themselves don't know the answers. But if you've put your application in, if you said, this is me, this is my situation, does that mean you are... I mean, if you got in early with your application, that would be the priority, would it?
It should do in an ideal world, and I know some of them do have an application online on the internet, if you've got access to the internet, but not all of them do, and I think this is going to be the confusion over the next few weeks. It's how to get into that queue. I mean, one of them, Scottish and Southern Energy, told me they were probably only going to pay 4,800 customers in this broader group, apart from the pensioners. So really, you know, it's important to get in quickly, but it's very frustrating to do that because they're not quite sure what's going on in many cases, and I'm sure we'll be coming back to this.
And you say that some of the companies that the money will run, there's just a certain amount of funds, and once it's over, it's over. But there's one company, is it just one company?
Oh, sorry, British Gas. Now, to my great surprise, I talked to the Managing Director for Energy at British Gas yesterday, and he said, as long as you get your application in by the end of January, if you're in this broader group, these families and disabled people on means tested benefits, application in by the end of January, you will get your money guaranteed. Now, he said that to me yesterday.
But you have to be an existing customer.
Oh, you have to be an existing customer, as far as I know, yes.
And one last question, I'm not sure whether we covered this. Why is it on the electricity bill and not your other energy bill, or gas bill, or whatever it is?
Because just about everybody has an electricity bill. Now, I know there'll be some people saying, oh, I don't, I live out in a yurt in the countryside and don't. And there are some people without electricity. But it's really off your energy bill, but the way to get it to everybody is to take it off the electricity bill, because a lot of people don't have mains gas. So that's why it's off electricity.
Lots of questions, Paul. Thank you so much for sort of taking us through them. I know you'll have more on your programme ready for...
More on Moneybox, BBC Radio 4 at midday.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
It's at 18 minutes past 9. Let's